Hello, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Um, as you come in, let me know where you are in the world. And to tell you what, let me know also how long you've been playing. I am curious today. Where are you in the world and how long have you been playing? So come on in. Come on in. We're going to be getting started very shortly. Come on in, everybody. Hey, Keith. All right, again, yeah. So come on in. Let me know where you are in the world and where and how long you've been playing. We got some fun stuff to talk about today. Come on in. Come on in the room. All right. All right, come on in. So let me know where you are in the world and how long you've been playing. Yeah, just messing around a little bit. Okay, cool deal, cool deal. Come on in the room. I give everybody maybe a moment, more, maybe 60 seconds, 45 seconds more. All right, come on in, come on in. All right, let me know where you are in the world and how long have you been playing. So today's going to be a little bit of a really interactive live stream. And so I'm definitely going to need you to talk back to me today and give me your questions, give me your responses. Today's going to be really, really fun. Okay, cool. Well, let's get started. I hope you all are well. Thank you so much for being on the live stream. If this is your first one, my name is Corey Taylor from SkilledMusician.com, where we are helping musicians improve. So thank you so much for joining this live stream. This is our 20th or 21st live stream, which is unbelievable. And so today I want to take some questions and give you some answers. And I see a few of you all have already started writing some questions in. And so I'll definitely answer those for you. Let's see. All right, but before we get started with that, I want to give you a few updates and share a few things with you all. You all are so consistent and support me so much that I want to give you some updates. All right, first thing, if you've been to the new website, you will notice that we have several offerings. We have our courses and YouTube products. But one of the things that we're getting ready to release in about a month from now is our membership site. We are creating a membership site, and we have a ton of material that we're putting in the membership site. It's a literal unbelievable amount of material. And so I thought about it, and I said, I have all these things that I'm planning to put in the site, but I wanted to ask you all to get your input. As you know, we're family here, so tell me, what would you like to see in the membership site? What would you like to see? Are there any things in particular you would like to see in the membership site? Is there any type of thing you want to see? Because we are in about a month. Actually, I think it's a month to the day. Actually, a little more. We'll be releasing that. So I want to get your input. So let me know. And while you are letting me know that, let me just give you an update. Some of you who follow, there are a few of us that do gospel trainings online. There are a couple of us. Sean Wilson is one. Daquan Bowens. Another guy is Warren McPherson. I think his site is called, his YouTube channel and website, I think it's called Piano Lesson with Warren McPherson. And so we just did a collaboration, and that was just released today on his channel. And so if you're interested in seeing that, I teach on Drop 2 Voicings there. So here's the link to that. So if you're interested learning Drop 2, I go into not too deep, but really trying to give you a great foundation on Drop 2 Voicing. So I would definitely go there and check that out. All right. So again, give me your ideas about what you'd like to see on a membership site. And then lastly, while you're typing that, last week I gave out a challenge, the 2020 challenge, this 2020 Skilled Musician Challenge. And I have received several submissions. Several submissions. But I want to receive more. So what are you waiting on? And the prize is going to be pretty big. Maybe I should tell you what the prize will be, but I'm almost enjoying keeping it a surprise. And so send in your submissions. So if you don't know how to, where to go, you can check out the video from last week. It's a short 3-minute video that kind of outlines what I'm looking for. But let me just do a quick synopsis really quickly. So a quick synopsis is this. Uh, we want to take all the things that we've been covering on our live streams. We've been doing it for 5 months now, these live streams. And so there's a lot of material we've been talking about. And so what I'd like for you to do is take Amazing Grace. Take the song Amazing Grace in any key you like, any style you like, and apply um, the things you've been learning over these 5 months. So apply the ideas that we've been learning. Now, so if you're wanting the grading material, like my how I'm going to determine who's the winner, I'm looking for the person that applies the stuff that we teach on Wednesday nights to Amazing Grace. So we've taught a lot of different topics. So if you just send me you playing Amazing Grace, just you know, that's cool, but I can't really hear any of the topics we've talked about. So I want to hear some of the things that we've been talking about over the past 5 months. Okay. Now the deadline to get that in is Monday, March 9th. That's the deadline. So, midnight Monday, March 9th. That's New York Eastern Standard Time. So I'm hoping you all can get those in. And the prize is going to be something pretty cool. All right. So, okay. And just so you know, the rules are upload your video to YouTube. So you're going to make a video. It doesn't have to be public. You can make it private, or not private, unlisted. Upload your video of you playing to YouTube, make it unlisted, and then go to this link, skillmusician.com/2020challenge, and put your name, your email address, and that link. And then I'll have it, and I'll go through it and decide who is the winner of our 2020 challenge. Okay. All right. So let me just review really quickly, and then we'll start answering some of your questions. Again, the membership site. So we're opening up a membership site. It's going to be chock full of just a ton of material. The stuff that I don't share everywhere. I'll just say that. So it's going to be chock full of material. So let me know some things you want to see in that membership site, so that you'll have access to it. So that's the first thing. Secondly, and you'll be hearing more about the membership site and what all is going to be in it. Secondly, I did a collaboration with Warren McPherson. He's a popular gospel YouTube guy, and he has a pretty big channel. And we just did a collaboration, and it was released today. So if you want to see that, here's the link to that collaboration. And then the last thing is our 2020 challenge. All right. So definitely get on the challenge. I want to hear from you because the prize is phenomenal. Okay. All right. With that said, let's jump into your questions. All right. So I saw a couple of questions. Caleb says, Caleb Winfield, what's the best way to learn how to solo? All right. I'm going to do a shameless plug. The best way to learn the solo is to go on my site and sign up for our improvisation course. We cover all things, well, not all things, but a large number of things in improvisation. And after taking that course, it's a ton of material and a ton of teaching that'll help you on your route to becoming a good improviser. It's very difficult at times just by yourself, so you want a structured way to learn it. And so we have a really structured way to learn how to improvise that I've crafted. So I'd go there. But just to answer your question, I would say start with the melody, and then start with the melody. So whatever you're learning, learn the melody of it. So no matter what song it is, learn the melody, and then start embellishing the melody. This is how improvisation first started. Um, so let's see. I'll just take a song. Um, uh, I was just playing Autumn Leaves to start. So all right. So that's the first part of the song. So learn the melody. Um, and then start embellishing the melody. So here's the melody, right? So now I can start doing little embellishments. Start messing with the rhythm. All right, and so I would start there. But I really encourage you to get our improvisation course because we really go in depth and have a really structured, um, over 12 hours of, it might be like 14 hours of content, loads of sheets and materials to help you on your path to improvisation. All right. Garrett says, I love to hear how to apply quarto harmony voicings in a gospel setting. Is that your question for the membership site? Or is that a question for me right now? All right, let's see. Let's look at more questions for right now. All right, Zion says, hearing you play so well lets me know I've been doing something wrong. Uh, um, well, Zion, that brings me to one of the things you all have heard me talk about before, is that there are three type of people you want in your life. There are three type of people you want in your life. All right, and bonus points to the person who can type that out, type who those three persons are in the chat before I can write it. All right. So those three people are a mentee, a mentor, and a match. All right, so a mentee is someone who you pour into, who's underneath you, who's not as good as you, who you're helping, right, to bring along. You've made it to this level, and so you want to bring someone else up. That's important. Um, um, then you want to have a mentor. That's someone that pours into you, that teaches you. Um, and then a match. That's someone who challenges you, who you can go back and forth with. They don't even have to play the same instrument. Who challenges you in your practice time, who's near your level, and you grow together. So those are the three types of people you need in your life to really become the musician that you definitely want to be. So it's definitely important to hear other people and realize, hey, I'm doing something different. Let me see what I can change. I have those people in my life as well. They hear me play and I'm like, or I hear them play rather, and I'm like, oh man, I need to change some stuff. All right, so Samsung phone says some Latin would be nice and how to apply it. Okay, all right, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea. Let's see. Ricardo, show us some gospel passing chords. Okay, let's see. Um, let's see. Lucas Lucero, un abrazo enorme desde Argentina. Muchas gracias. Iguales. Okay. questions? Let's see. So Garrett, quartal harmony voicings. In a gospel setting. Let's see. That's an interesting one. I would definitely use it on dominant chords as a way. So, and some of it might not be true quartal. Some of it might be like, let's see, like this chord, for instance. So it's quartal here, quartal interval, and then we have this augmented fourth or diminished fifth, or as we know, it's tritone interval. So I would use that like as a right. That's kind of that kind of voicing. So if I'm playing. Okay, so yeah, that's an interesting one. I'll have to think about that. Some other places where I might use quartal voicings as a way of harmonizing a melody, to add some variety. So let's say we're going, and I've never tried this, but let's try it with Amazing Grace. All right, so there you go. So now I'm gonna be strict quartal. So that means I'm gonna harmonize strictly quartal, even outside of the key. So. Right. That's a cool way to add some variety. Then you go back to tertiary harmony. Okay, so that's a couple ways. Let's see. Gio says, I'm sorry, but it's the 2020 challenge. You didn't finish your question, Gio. It's the 2020 challenge what? The 2020 challenge it ends Monday, March 9th, so definitely send in your recording. All right, let's see. Robert Johnson says, can you show some melody with tritones on the bottom to show how you apply tritones to melody? I don't apply tritones to melody. I understand what you're saying, but let's kind of. I understand what you're asking, but let's be clear so everybody's on the same page. In gospel music, a lot of times you'll hear people say, play the tritone in the left hand. And truthfully, what they're saying is play the guide tones that are a tritone apart. Which in essence means, and I'm going to explain it in a second, but I'm just kind of walking this through. You're playing a dominant chord, and so you're playing the guide tones from the dominant chord, which happen to be a tritone apart. So, okay, so let me explain this. Let's say I'm playing, I'm in the key of C. Let's get out of that key. Let's not do that key. Let's do a different key. I don't know. I'm in the key of E flat. Alright. Alright, so we're in the key of E flat. And so let's say I'm doing a 2-5-1 in E flat. So I'm doing F minor to B flat 7 to E flat, right? And so we're going to focus on this B flat. The notes of the B flat 7 are B flat, D, F, A flat. Now, guide tones, that's with the G, guide tones. These are the 3rd and 7th, or in some cases the 3rd and 6th. So the 3rd of B flat 7 is D, and the 7th is A flat. So when people are saying play the tritone in the left hand, what they're meaning is, if you had a dominant chord, B flat 7, just play this part, which happens to be a tritone. And a tritone is just a distance of 3 whole steps. So from D to E is 1 whole step, from E to F sharp is another, and from F sharp to A flat is a 3rd whole step. So tritones. So a tone is 1 whole step. So a half step would be a semitone, right? Okay. So so just to be clear, I'm not basing the tritone off my whatever I'm playing in the melody, or the guide tones in my left hand. They're based off the root. So if I'm going to be playing this, it's based off of B flat, right? If I'm playing E flat in the root, then I'm playing G and D flat. Does that make sense? If I'm playing A flat, then I'm playing G flat, C, D flat, F, B, and so forth. G flat, E, and B flat. Those are the 7th and 3rd, or 3rd and 7th. So I'm not basing anything off my melodic line I'm doing here. I'm just improvising. Now, the only time I can think where I'm improvising a line like that, and I have a series of dominant chords, is a 3-6-2-5 one turnaround, like a really churchy one, like that. Or when I'm being, maybe that changes. So 3, right? And that's, I'm in E flat, so 3, G7, and all of them are dominant. 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. All right. So that'd be something. Now, if I'm doing that, this kind of dominant sound, I'm probably going to do something bluesy in my right hand. So, something. Something like that. Okay? All right. That was a little long explanation, but I wanted to make sure we had clarity there. All right. So Gio says, what is the 2020 challenge? So Gio, let's see. Definitely check out.
If you've looked at
let's see. Here we go for you, Gio. There you go, Gio. Check out that video, and I'll explain the 2020 challenge. Let's see, some more questions. Okay, y'all are putting them in now, so here we go. All right. Rita says, application of alter chords with the melody line. Hmm. Like you all are. I hear your question, but I think you're asking the wrong question. If I'm playing an altar chord of some sort, um, let's just do this. There we go. There's the altar chord. This G altar, G7 altar, and the line would be. I would play the altar scale. Yeah, I went away from it. Okay. Let's see. Mellow keys. Could you use quartal chords under a whole tone scale? Sure. I'm playing C whole tone. So, right. Now I'm being strict and saying, no matter where it takes me, I'm just gonna follow it. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right, some more questions. Hey, Joseph. Um, KW Brown 85 says, "How do I break out of the intermediate level? All right, I want more of a neo soul, and jazzy sound." Okay. So as far as like breaking out of the rut, I definitely understand. Like you're in a rut. You sound the way you sound. So I'd ask you a couple of questions. I'd ask you two questions. What are you practicing, and what are you listening to? Um, so um, a lot of times we only practice to learn a song, right? And that's not really practicing. That's just kind of learning a song. That's learning repertoire. That's not actually practicing getting better, adding new skills to my skill set. And so to break out of the rut is just say I want to learn one thing today or this week and learn one idea and master that idea. And the next week say or tomorrow, depending on how quickly you learn an idea, say I want to master the next thing. And then go to the next one and that master. So let's say you learn one new idea per week, one new concept, one new thing per week. Well, in a year, that's 52 new things. Now, you know, at what point will you have broken out of the intermediate level? Um, I'm not sure what the intermediate level is, but if you want to categorize musicians in like three levels, like what'll happen is after a while, you just notice that I'm much better than I used to be, and you didn't even realize it happening. Because you got your blinders on and you're focused on learning one new thing this week, one new thing this week, and after a while you've learned. Well, let's say you learn two new things a week, right? So that's over 100 new things a year. And here's the truth: one new thing can revolutionize your playing. So imagine learning 100 new things in a year. You'll sound completely different from when you started at the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Okay. All right. And then what are you listening to? So if you want more of a neo soul jazzy sound, then are you listening to neo soul and jazz? Are you listening to those things? Um, I'm sure you probably have an artist in mind that really resonates with you. Then I would be learning that artist's stuff like verbatim, like learning how he did or how she did, whatever, like learning their stuff, if that's the sound I want. All right. Yeah, man cave. So shell voicing is definitely a root plus third or root plus 7. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Who else? Okay. I have a Spanish question from Lucas. Amigo, tengo una pregunta para hacerlo. Algún tutorial suyo en donde se pueden aprender acordes híbridos. Alright, so basically what Lucas is asking, for those that don't speak Spanish, is about a tutorial on, is there a tutorial where I'm teaching about hybrid chords? He's saying that's something that interests him. Hybrid chords, that's an interesting term. Tell you what, tell me more. How would I say that? Dime más. I think that's right. So Joseph says, is there a formula to use extended chords? Is there a formula to use extended chords? All right, interesting question. All right, is there a formula to use extended chords? Well, music is music theory. So everybody creates their own kind of rules. Like at this place, I want to play this kind of chord. But no, there's no formula for using extended chords. I do have some formulas on how to voice extensions, for sure. I do have a whole formula about how to actually voice these chords and voice any chord, any extension. It's pretty in depth. That is actually part of our chords galore class, where I go through several different voicing ways. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. Gio says, when are you coming out with the membership subscription? 1 month. It's little like 33 days, I think. It'll be coming out. Mr. Precool says, thank you for all the content. I was wondering, will you do a video on accompaniment? I'm definitely interested in the sound of PJ Morton and Stevie Wonder. Okay. Well, I'll do a video on accompaniment. I actually have a video. Oh, that's part of one of our courses that I have accompaniment stuff. Will I do a video on accompanying? I'm not sure, to be honest. Possibly. I'm definitely interested in the sound of PJ Morton and Stevie Wonder. Yeah, I think PJ Morton is like, if Stevie Wonder had a son, it would be PJ Morton. I was just listening to PJ Morton yesterday and thinking, wow. All right. Christina asks, how do I start playing sevenths and ninths in alto chords in my playing? And how can I start to add runs to my playing? That's an interesting question. How do I start to add sevenths and ninths and alto chords in my playing? All right, it's a great question. All right, and the way I did it was I just started doing it. So I would say whatever chord you're playing. So let's say, now, not all of them will sound good, but just, so let's say you're doing a progression that goes C, F. Let's just do that. C to F. That's it. 2 chords. So the first thing I start doing is just adding the 7th in there. So this is my chord. I do it root position, and then the 7th. I mean the F root position. So, and then I would try inversions. So maybe this 7 like this. with the seventh on the bottom. So this is third inversion, right? So all right, and then start adding ninths. So let's say, so if I don't add the seventh, then it's just a two, like this. But if I add the seventh, then it becomes a nine. So here's C. I'll put the E in the left hand. I'll put the C and E. So root in here. There you go. And same thing here. And you'll notice you'll start getting comfortable with these sounds, and so do them more and more and more and more. And so just and play with them, sevenths and ninths, just in the ninth or the two, this major seventh, and every song start adding them in there, see if they work, and you'll get better at it. It'll become more comfortable for you. How do I start adding runs in my playing? Okay, this is an interesting question. So the first thing to do is here's the easiest route, is to transcribe somebody else doing a run. And what transcribe means is there's two types of transcription. There's the actual notation and then the application, or the actual physical motion of it. So transcribing, you can write the run down, but that's not what I mean when I say transcribe right now. I mean, like, somebody does a run that goes, and so you want to learn the line, but not only that, you want to learn how they fingered it, but then you also want to learn where did they place it, right? And so then every time you come to that place, you know, I have this line to play, and you learn another one and another one like that. Okay. Let's see. Man cave. Ricardo, you can apply the diminisher between the primary chords of each key you're in. Let's say you're playing a two-bar progression and you reach your destination. Let's say you want to repeat the progression, you want to get back to it. Okay. Alright. Rita asked, the G alto chord you play can be used as a one chord going to the four chord, right? If you're thinking of it only in G, then yeah, this would be like a 1-7 now, going to 4. But when I do these, I like to locally think of them as just like 5 going to, even if I'm in the key of G. If I do something like this, I'm thinking 5 to 1. Going, even though I know C is 4, in my head I'm thinking 5. All right, that's kind of like how you do Roman numeral analysis. You say, okay, I'm momentarily tonicizing C. Even though I'm in the key of G, I'm tonicizing C. And then I'm back to my key of G. All right, how do you choose what thing to learn? Ah, Keith, this is a great question. Keith, it was good to meet you. There was a big organ event this past weekend, and I didn't play, but got a chance to hang out with a number of great musicians here in Atlanta, and Keith was there. So how do you choose what thing to learn? All right, Keith, that's a great question, and it's something I think about quite often. There are a couple ways. I'm analyzing. So here's one way. I'm always analyzing my playing, right? Analyzing what area do I need to improve on. So as a gospel musician, let's say, you know what, my talk music is terrible. I need to improve there. I need to improve on my, praise break shout music. I need to improve on my left hand. This. I need to improve on two-handed runs. So I have this long list of things. I'm just kind of making stuff up. I have a long list of things I need to improve on. And so there are a couple ways I would attack them. Like for the past few years, I've had a theme for the year. Like this year, I'm only doing talk music. That's my goal for the year. I used to do 20 weeks. Like I want to spend 20 weeks on a topic. So 5 months. working on one specific idea that I'm weak in. So I have a sheet where that list out everything, everything I want to accomplish, every area of musicianship that I need to know, and then where I'm at, my strengths, weaknesses, and so that's how I do it. So I would say list out everything, list out what you want to be. What type of musician do you want to be? Write that out first. Then write out your strengths and your weaknesses. And the things you don't know, go for those. Start learning them. That's one route. Here's a second route. Um, I'm always transcribing. Well, I'm always listening to music, and the stuff that resonates with me, I try to learn. So there are things that just completely resonate with me. That's like it's like my sound. I hear it um, when other guys play it. It's not the whole thing they play. It might be just a snippet, right? Um, and so I try to learn it. And so if you just simply learn the things that resonated with you, you learn a snippet here and a snippet there and a snippet there, and you kind of create your own sound, the sound that you're hearing in your head, where everything resonates and makes sense to you. So a couple ways to go about it. I don't know if I can play in the stride. I don't think I've ever played that song before. Let go. That's not very clean. Alright, I've never tried that before. I'm gonna do it slower. I don't know of the rest of it. Like God arise the enemies, and God arise the enemies be scattered. Like God arise the enemies scattered. Let God, oh, let God, let God. Something like that. That was not very good. So that would go on my to work on list. um, feel it back. That's some great info, bro. I'm going to definitely do that. Okay, cool deal. Glad to help. Mellow Key says, "Isn't it best fitting to find your own sound than copy others?" Ah, that's a great question. Let's pause here for a moment. This is a great question. Um, so, let me hear from you all. Is it better to find your own sound or to copy others? You let me know. All right. So, is it better to find your own sound or to copy others? All right. So, what do you say? Cool Bro says, find your own sound, I think. But getting help from others as as inspiration might work too. Man Cave says imitation is a faster way to learn music. Learn from others, then twist what you hear into your own musical voice. No Internet says, nothing is new under the sun. I believe it's better to first copy others and then you develop your own interpretation from it. It still falls in line with Sean Wilson's pyramid of learning. Okay. David Wilder says, find your own sound after learning via imitating others. Producer by Avi says, in copying others, you find your own. Just make sure you got a lot of cookbooks that you take recipes from. All right, so some of y'all are starting to hit on it. Listen, learning music is learning a language. Learning music is like learning a language. And I spent a lot of time studying this. So when you learned whatever language is your first language, so let's say English is your first language. When you learned English, how did you learn it? How did you learn it? Did you kind of create your own language? No. You didn't start off as a baby creating your own language. Well, even when babies do like baby talk, they're trying to mimic what they hear mom, dad, and their and their family around them doing. But the baby would then say, "I want to create my own language," because if it did, no one would understand it, right? So the baby learned how to speak from listening to mom and dad, sisters, brothers, the ones around it, and mimicking, imitating. So, and you listen to babies talk, they'll take one word, ma ma ma, and keep at it, ma 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 ma, until they mom until they get it. Then dad, everything's dad. The coffee cup, dad. You know, the camera, dad. You know, the phone, dad. Until they get it, they start adding more words and getting it. But they're imitating the way they hear speech, right? And then once they have the language, then they begin to play with it. But every musician, I don't know one musician that doesn't have somebody who they pattern themselves after initially. So learn the language, and then try to, and then in the language you'll find your voice. But trying to find your voice without learning the language is like a baby trying to create its own language. You know, like you haven't learned the language to be able to speak. Learn the language, learn how we speak, and then find your own voice within it. Like you look at Robert Glasper, for instance. Let's take him. Robert Glasper has a completely unique way of playing. It's he'll play us. I can't imitate him, but he has his own complete, unique way of playing. But he didn't start there. How did he get there? That came out of studying straight ahead. Robert Glasper can play straight ahead jazz and bop with the best of them. Chick Corea. You listen to Chick Corea. No Internet. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the super chat. And yeah, listen. If you want to donate, there's like a little money sign right by the smiley face. You can donate there. I definitely appreciate that. Look at Chick Corea. Chick Corea didn't come out and just become Chick Corea. Chick Corea had two influences. Does anybody know who Chick's two main influences were? Let me know in the comment section. Who were Chick Corea's two main influences? Who were Chick Corea's two main influences? You all are smart. You all are really on it. Like you all have it. I see some great comments in the chat. But who were Chick Corea's two main influences? Can anyone get this? far as jazz goes, Chick had two influences: Bud Powell and Thelonious Monk. So when you hear Chick, Chick Corea is one of the greatest jazz musicians, pianists out. He's like a legend. He's like I don't know, like Michael Jordan is to basketball. Maybe not that high. Maybe Chick Corea is like he's pretty high up there though. Like one of the great top five. Most people says for sure. Maybe like LeBron, like top five. I'm a LeBron fan though. All right. So so Thelonious Monk would do a lot of these that kind of stuff. And Bud Powell was your bopper. So so you get Chick doing stuff like that, you know. Um, so okay, I'm trying to think who else. Um, who are my main two influences when it comes to jazz? Like who helped shape what I do, how I play? So I have two. Let's see. That's a challenge. Does anybody know my two influences? Um, who are my two influences? So that's Bud Powell. I'll spell that for you. But no, that's one of Chick's influences, not mine. Leonard says Eth. I'm not sure who Eth is. uh, Mellow Keys says Stevie Wonder and Corey. No, Leonard Styles. Keith Jarrett was one. That's right. Now he gets he gets he he has an advantage over everybody because he sees me weekly. But yes, Keith Jarrett is one of my influences. Oscar Peterson, no, no. You know, interesting enough, when I first heard Oscar Peterson, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I had to grow to appreciate it. But initially, when I heard him, it didn't resonate with me. But trust me, I'm a big fan of Oscar Peterson. Believe me, he's phenomenal. But initially, it didn't resonate with me, so he wasn't who I gravitated towards. Yeah, really. So my second influence is Barry Harris. So Keith Jarrett for his melodicism. Keith Jarrett is so melodic, it like oozes out of his playing. That like grabbed my ear and grabbed me, and I couldn't let go of it. It shaped my sound. It shaped who I am musically. It shaped how I hear. Because he was so melodic, I would get it. I would study his music. Like, how is he so melodic? How is he doing this? And then Barry Harris harmonically, his whole sixth diminished stuff and just borrowing, just that whole notion really just grabbed me and was like, I became obsessed. And I mean obsessed like really obsessed. Like I spent, I don't know, maybe, I know 5 months for sure, just nothing but Barry Harris. All day, every day, hours and hours. Just Barry Harris. And then out of that came, prime example, I was into Barry Harris and then I got my own interpretation of it and it took me someplace completely different than where Barry Harris goes with it. And so now my sound, I owe it, it can point directly back to Barry Harris, but now it's different than what he teaches. I found my own voice in that. And so what you hear now is my own voice. But it was related to Barry Harris. Bill Evans, I'm a fan of Bill Evans. I love his harmonic complexity, but he was not one who resonated with me initially. Like I studied him, and I have some of his licks and some of the stuff he does for sure. Now my good friend Eric Miller, who's a phenomenal organist, one of the best organists here in Atlanta. Bill Evans was his guy. That's all he listened to. And so different, different influences for different people. But yeah, Keith Jarrett and Barry Harris were it for me. I think I have every Keith Jarrett recording, and then some that aren't even recordings, like aren't even records, like just playing at concerts and stuff. Just, I'm a big fan of his. All right. All right, let's see. Alan G says, personally, one of my favorite videos of yours is when you broke down your playing and approach to I Need Thee. It was filled with so much gems. Can you do something similar to that again soon, maybe? Uh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can definitely do that again. For sure. All right, let's go back up C. So okay. So Lucas is talking about the type of chords that that Dirty Loops plays. Um, hmm. Let me think some more on that. They're not reinventing the wheel. They've just reharmonized and um, so they're not playing any new chords per se. Uh, um, they're just reharmonizing the melody in a particular way. So let me see if I can make a video on that for you. Miller Key says, "Could you please simplify breakdown Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder?" I mean, I don't really know it like that. What key is it in? Mm. Like I haven't listened to the record and learned it. I just hear it in passing, people playing, and just so. I think. Yeah. Um. So I would say, just walks up the scale to so in a key B flat, for instance. I'm not sure what key the song is originally in, but it's walking up the scale. So 2, 3, or 1/3. So B flat over D. 4, and then so 6. So minor, or you can as a secondary dominant leading you back to 2. 2 is C minor. And then we're going to 4. And so we have this you can do a 2-5-1 to G minor. So 2 half diminished 7, so A half diminished 7 to, or you can just do it all over D 7 flat 9, G minor, and then C7 sharp 11. Uh, 2, 5, 1. We have a run. All right, let's keep going. Let's see, some more questions. Produced by Avi. Hopefully this question isn't too vague, but for a long time I've been confused about how to use chords that are out of key and how to memorize the secondary dominants. So produced by Avi, I would say check out my 9 passing chords video. I try to go in depth and explain that very concept. So here's the link to that video. And definitely check it out. Here's the link. So check that video out. That'll go into more detail about it. All right. So the next question was when can you use diminished chords? I believe I talked about diminished chords too in that same video. So definitely check that out. So yeah, produced by Avi. I would say check that out. Now, if you want to go further, I have a course called Quarter Moves and Progressions where I take you from simple things to we're playing some really advanced quarter moves that you're in your wildest dreams you never would have thought. And then we get to the point where we're playing anything we want. And that course is called Quarter Moves and Progression. Quarter moves, I'll type it in the chat. Quarter Moves and Progressions course. So I say definitely check that course out. Let's see. James says, would like to better understand reharmonizing. Okay. Okay. Let's take one note. Let's take the note C. And all right, let's add some chords to it. So I could make this a C major chord. I could make it an F major chord. I could make it an A minor chord, right, and still have C in it. Could be a C minor chord. Could be an A flat major chord. Could be what else? F minor, right? Could be E flat 6. Could be D flat major 7. Could be D7, dominant 7. It could be the 9th for B flat major 9. It could be the 9th for B flat 9, a dominant chord. It could be the 11th of G minor. It could be the sharp 11 of G flat. And I can keep going. Like we could stay here for a while. It could be the flat 9 of B7, right? We can keep going. So I can take one melody note and harmonize it a lot of different ways. And so what you do when you reharmonize a melody is change the expected chord. So now this is kind of one approach. This isn't all approaches, but let's say for instance I was playing a song that went C to F, and these were C was the melody note each time. Right? Well, I could harmonize this as change it. I'll make the C. Let's make it minor, and then go to B flat minor and make it a note. At the C and F. Oh, let's make it. Let's go to A flat and then B flat. Let's go to D flat and make it the major 7. E flat, make it 6. Make it just a D7 to G minor. And all I'm doing is taking one note and just trying different chords out. and then you just kind of create your own song kind of deal after that. Let's see. Personal question: have you ever played classical music? Yeah, I got my undergraduate from Clemson University, um, and that was in classical. All right. Urban says you never showed the fingering the black keys on your fingering video. Which do we start with? Um, I did it. Well, remember one of the rules was when you have more than what was it, two or three black notes in a row, then using your thumb on the black notes is okay. And so, in this case, I would definitely use my thumb and do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I know some people do something else, kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, some kind of weird like that. But I just stick with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. All right. Onito, I have a video on inner voices. How to add. He asked about how to add inner voices. So I have a video on that. So you can. That's one of our live streams. One of my first live streams. So definitely check that out. Let's see. David Wilder asked a question. Okay, it's an interesting question. How do you effectively study your influences? Okay, it's a great question. So you gotta be listening to them. So you gotta listen to them, non-stop. Listen to them. Find every recording they're on. Listen to it, and then take one song, and the first thing I would suggest do is take a song and understand what's happening in the song. Meaning, you got to know the song. So if let's say whoever you're studying is playing, I don't know a song. Mary Had a Little Lamb. Right? And they're playing something off of that. I don't know. They've reharmonized it. I don't know, and they're going. I don't know. They do something weird. First thing to do is make sure you know the song. Make sure you know the melody. Make sure you know the initial chords, because it's hard to understand what they're doing if you don't have a framework. So you have to have the framework. Why are they doing this? Once you have the framework, once you know the melody and the initial chords, the original chords, then start studying each line, note for note, like what is he playing, why is he playing it, and ask tons of questions. Why did he play that there? Like, why? And then answer the question. Don't leave it unanswered. I asked a lot of why questions, and I forced myself to answer them. And the thing is, even if your answer is wrong, it's helpful. All right? Leaving the question unanswered is worse. Answering it wrong is much better, because it gives you a springboard to test your assumption. So you say, I think this is why he did it, and I test it. And then you can say, oh, maybe I was wrong. So that's not why he did that. Let's re-examine. Okay? All right. Great question. How many hours do you practice these days? My goal is to practice 2 hours a day now. In my younger days, it was 4 hours a day. Christina says, I'm stuck playing slow gospel songs. How can I build up to upbeat and adding alternative chords and sharp 9, flat 5 chords? All right. I'm tempted to give you a jazz answer. I have a couple answers, but let me. So jazz answer says, The reason why you play slow is because you hear slowly. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean you're hearing slowly. So, like for instance, if some guy's trying to run and they can only run slowly, but then they put on some tapes of Oscar Peterson and listening to him run fast, then they got on and were like, oh, and it was no problem, and we're running faster. What was the difference? They're hearing what they were hearing. So I would ask you, Christina, what are you listening to? One. So what are you hearing? And then secondly, um, that's a great question, and there's definitely a process to getting to that point. Hmm. Christina, I would love to work with you individually on and help you, kind of showing you the process to get there, because the process is a little more than a sound bite. Um, so I would encourage you. Hey, listen, can you set up a lesson with me on my website? I have a link to lessons, and and I would love the opportunity to kind of sit down with you for about an hour and give you kind of the roadmap. All right, let's see. GOG says some passages runs are so fast that you can't hear them. I'm using seventh string to slow it down. Do you use a slow down software? Um, and yes, I use the slow down software all the time. For sure. Some stuff you just can't catch. Some stuff you just it's just too fast. So you have to slow it down. YouTube has this great feature where you can customize the speed, but YouTube is dependent on the internet, so sometimes it's buffering and stuff. So I'm generally, I'll buy whatever it is and put it on my computer and slow it down. Like sometimes I'm super slow just to hear it. And then here's the good thing: you do that and you start learning how. Not only are you learning the line, but you're learning the sound. Let's say you listen 100 times trying to figure out what this line is. No, right? Uh, and then you go out on a gig and you hear somebody go, like you know what that is. Like you spent time learning these sounds, and so that's one of the benefits of it. So yes, I'm a big proponent of slowing down stuff. So luxurious wants some kind of cool jazz, jazz chord. I would say for kind of neo soul kind of sound, I would just say minor 11ths is a cool sound. Let me put my stuff on roll to see if I can't do it now. You could run with this. Can y'all hear that? So here's what I say. So take like a minor chord and just keep extending it out. So basically, you have a major chord a whole step below the minor root. So it's F minor, and I'm basically playing E flat major. But in essence, it's just F minor 11. That's all it is. So you can literally just take this one chord and just move it around. So I'm just gonna move it around just randomly. I think that sounds cool to me. You let me know how it sounds to you. That's one idea. Leonard, I use iRehearse. He asked about slow down software. I use iRehearse. The big one back in the day used to be the Amazing Slow Downer. Um, but I use iRehearse. Oh, you know, you can also use Meticulous. Okay. Thanks, Keith. And that was just random. I just randomly picked some roots and just but those chords have such a quality, you know. Okay. All right. So I have been on way longer than I anticipated being on today. Um, this was fun. Thank you so much for your suggestions and your questions. This has been absolutely phenomenal. Um, so let me just recap to make sure we're all on the same page. Um, Membership site is dropping in a month. So listen, we're about to end the live stream, but but you can go on the website and go to contact and send me a message if there's something in the membership site um, that you want to know. Like contact me and let me know because I'm creating all the content now, and I would definitely want to make a membership site that you want to be part of. All right. Also, I just did a collaboration with Warren McPherson from Piano Lessons with Warren, where I talk about drop two voicings. It's about a 40-minute video, and it's nothing but we're really going hard on drop two voicings. So here's the link to that. Check that out. It's a lot of fun. And lastly, Monday, March 9th is the deadline for the 2020 Skill Musician Challenge. So make sure you get your videos into me. Here's the link to submit. Now remember, the key criteria is, do you use any of the concepts we talked about in our live streams? So if you just play Amazing Grace how you would play it, excuse me, that's okay, but I'm looking for people who take what we've been learning on the live streams and apply it to Amazing Grace. All right. Now you got to be tasteful, as I said in the previous video. Be tasteful. But yeah, I'm waiting for your videos. All right. Okay. So thank you all again. I'm so appreciative of y'all sticking on with me. We've been on for almost an hour and a half, and some of y'all have been on the whole time. So you all are troopers. You are amazing. All right. Thank you so much. Well, so until the next time, be blessed and happy practicing.